Hi, I'm Josh with Griffin Arms. This is the Muzzle Break podcast. This is our first episode. I'm here with Brian, my co-host, and we are going to discuss all things gun industry related and whatever else we want to talk about as far as, current affairs, politics, anything going on in the news, whatever. I mean, our daily lives. It's just going to be a conglomeration of things. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully it's something that you guys tune into. I don't know if we're going to do it every week, every other week, or whatever. But we're here. It's taken a lot to get to this point, but I'm really pumped up about it. I'll introduce you to who I am. If some people might, follow the shop or see what goes on online in a tidbit type way. But I'm Josh. I started this business 10 years ago, me and my family. I have a wife and 3 kids. We homestead here in western Pennsylvania. We've kind of created this place to be a place of information, to get gear, to get training. We've expanded our gun range to include a 50 by 25 flat range, so we've been doing a lot of training this last half of 2024, and we have a lot of stuff scheduled for 2025 too, which I'm really excited to provide for Western Pennsylvania. It's an exciting time here at the shop, and it's an exciting time here in our country. I just thought that it would be great to chronicle, everything that's going on here. But as far as the shop and me and being involved in the industry, I've been involved in the industry for 15 years total. I started a shop before this, or helped start a shop. I was a partner at a store. They kind of went a different direction. It was just kind of a proving ground, learning ground for me. Back in the day, we did a lot of gun show circuit. That even the gun show stuff now is kind of gone by the wayside. But that kind of gives you an idea. About 11 years ago, I built this building, and I, put all of my money and invested everything that I had into this place, and it's been, a big blessing for the last 10 years. So you got to get some insight into that. And then it's a working farm. We got about 130 acres here that we farm miniature Black Angus cows and crops each year, and the rest of the farm that isn't being used for actual farm work is being turned into slowly training facility for the gun store here. So my co-host Brian, I'll let him talk about who he is and where he's come from.
What's up, guys? Brian McLaughlin. Started working here around 6 months ago.
Yeah, 6 months.
Actually was a customer beforehand. Came in one day jokingly, and Josh was at the counter, and actually was like, "Hey, do you need any extra help?" Jokingly, didn't think he was going to call me on my bluff, but here I am. Yeah. So I'm glad I did, and we exchanged numbers, and now here I sit, and kind of like meshed with him and his family. They're great people. This is like my second job, so I work for the city of Meadville Public Works, and on usually a couple days a week. On the weekend I come in here and enjoy my time being around this stuff. It's prior to this, I back in high school, after high school, I went to college, played a little football. Didn't go to class because thought football was gonna be the hey, you don't have to go to class, just go to practice. But missed that whole memo. But
college and schoolwork,
yes,
and tests and things like that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so decided to get out, and found a military recruiting station in Meadville, and went in and talked to the Marines, basically all the branches, and then decided to go into the Army.
Why? So, like, when you were looking at all of those different branches, what caused you to go towards the Army? Yeah,
it was like the first door.
So you really didn't give the...
No, they were like outside.
You didn't
smoking.
Give the others.
They were outside smoking, and I was just like, hey, I'm here to like check out all the brands. Yeah. And I think the one, because I'm pretty sure that the Navy had a pretty strict tattoo policy, and I had some tattoos that were showing at the time. Now I'm covered, but have some tattoos that were showing at the time.
What was the tattoo that was showing at the time? What was Brian's first tattoo?
My first tattoo was actually a cross. It was a cross. Went up to Buddha's in Erie. If anyone's watching, they know about Buddha's. You just walk in, and I went with my stepdad actually. And this is a total, like, I was like 17 at the time, and it was his first tattoo too. And he's like, "You're going first, because I don't know how bad this is gonna hurt." So yeah, I was like the sacrificial lamb for tattoos for my family at that point. And then I went in. So went to the recruiting station to back up, and the army dude came out, and we were chopping it up, and he had me take the ASVAB, and I was just he was like, what do you want to do? And I was basically like, what's offered, because everyone has this blinder thing that doesn't know anything about the military, that it's like you're going to carry a gun and you're going to war, that's it, you know what I mean? But there's so many different jobs and stuff, but ended up going infantry, and as soon as I got home, I was like, hey, guess what I did? And my mom was like, what? And I was like, I signed up for the military. And she's like, please tell me you didn't go infantry. And I'm like, that's exactly what I did.
The sergeant said I'd be so good at it. They saw you coming a fucking mile away.
It was just like, when I took my ASVAB, he was just like, to be infantry, all you have to do is click the mouse. You don't even have to score. And I was like, sign me up.
Yeah, Brian ate the pencils.
Yes.
You got any more of those yellow pixie sticks for me?
And of course, everything I tell you is like sunshine and rainbows, and everything's going to be great. And then, of course, that all changes. But it was one of those things where I would do it 1,000 times over, just from like the experiences and people that I met and stuff like that. So,
and that was you signed up post surge. Like
yes.
Post
2010, went in and got to my unit after airborne school and all that fun stuff. And then 2011, we deployed to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So
we'll get to that more in probably another episode that we'll dedicate completely to Brian's military service, because that is a good story, and I do think that people need to hear that, and I think it's enjoyable and whatnot. But people typically ask me, because I'm a 30-something and I own a gun store, was I prior military? Like most of the people that are in my age demographic, and no, I am not military. I signed up for the Navy my senior year in 2005, much like you, took the ASVAB. I was a little more chicken. I was like, what military service doesn't get shot at but still does cool things? I was like, the Navy, let's do that. Signed up, swore in down at the MEP station. A couple weeks after that, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So all my friends got to go, and I got to stay back, do chemotherapy, radiation, all that good, happy, horse shit and whatnot. So, but I mean,
that's like, because you hear so many people like, oh, this is
I could have done it.
Yeah, this is the famous line, buddy. I thought about it, but my toe's broken.
Yeah.
Or I'm overweight. I'm like, well, guess what? They make these things called gym memberships, and you can go there.
Or Ozempic.
Yeah. Not back then. Now.
So, but yeah, so I did try to join, or I did join. I did not try. I did, but it was just kicked out. So, my whole career in the firearms industry is basically from the civilian side. I really enjoy the history of things, or the historicity of things. We'll talk about that on this show too, because I can't not talk about the history of firearms. And pardon my coughing and whatnot. We just got back from SHOT Show, and we had the SHOT Show plague, and I'm just like coughing up a lung, and it's no fun. But every year we go. and we meet all of our friends. And I hope that you guys are watching, all our friends that we have met in the industry. I hope that you're watching. If you want to be on and talk with us, we're going to have open segments where you guys can come on and talk about your involvement in the industry and whatnot. I just think that people don't get a whole lot of insight of what goes on, behind the scenes. They just simply see it as, that's the gun shop. They're making bazillion dollars on guns. They get to play with guns all the time. I'm sure that you were probably.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
that.
not true.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're the delusion of. It's just playtime all the time. It is probably gone away at this point.
Yes.
But it is a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun, and it's rewarding teaching people and informing them, about stuff or, current events and whatnot. It's a part of our, it's a part of us being American citizens, you know what I mean? And it's a part of our culture and our daily lives, and it's a blessing to be involved in this culture. And I don't want this podcast. We're going to gripe about some stuff because there are things, there are personalities, there are companies, there's a bunch of stuff that you can complain about all the time, and we're probably going to gripe at some point in time on the podcast about those things. But that's really not why we're here, and that's really not why. That's really not the thing that we should be doing, being involved in this industry. We should support each other. It doesn't matter if you're an engineer at Beretta and you're making the newest, latest, greatest shotgun designs, or you're the person, the gun bunny that wants to get into a bikini and shoot machine guns. Like, I think all of those things are very good for the gun culture altogether. That broad spectrum of the gun culture, it just makes it fun. It makes it enjoyable. It makes it something that you can give to future generations, so that they can enjoy the culture that is gun culture, and the tearing down and shitting on each other should stop. I think that just should stop. But all that being said, I get long-winded on a whole bunch of stuff here. SHOT Show. What were your impressions? Oh, and there's the unseen person in our room here is Peter. He's on the video board, and he's going to be switching back and forth. So if you see something that's wrong, or Brian's talking and you're just seeing my stupid face, we can all blame Peter, okay? And we won't see Peter's face, but you're going to hear Peter's giggles, because Peter likes to giggle, and we appreciate Peter because he's a willing, warm body.
About an hour ago, he was supposed to be making us sandwiches.
Yeah.
And guess what? There's 0 sandwiches.
Yeah, what the heck? Listen.
But yeah, like SHOT Show, first time I've ever been to Las Vegas, so that was an experience in itself.
Okay, so we stayed at the Luxor Hotel the first night, and my wife and I got up. We literally had gone to bed. We'd gone out to eat. We had gone to bed, and we set an alarm so we could go down to see Brian enter the front door of the hotel, because he's like, I mean, no offense to you, man, but you are like watching a little kid experience Christmas for the first time.
Yeah, if anyone watching has ever been to Vegas, these hotels are astronomically mind-blowing, the way that they're built, and just all the lights and crazy stuff. So yes, Josh calls me a caveman sometimes, but I'm just whoa. But it's okay, because it's my demeanor. It's just how I live my life, and my wife can
eyes of wonderment.
Yeah,
just childlike wonderment. Yes. He's a 6'5", 275-pound baby gorilla that is just impressed with everything.
Yeah, so we flew in. Like I said, it was the first time I ever been to Vegas, so that was crazy in itself. got to the hotel. Next morning, woke up, and my first impression was we walked into the smaller room, I guess, right?
We were in the little atrium area.
The biggest convention center, and I was already like mind blown because I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? What to expect, and I was thinking, man, wow, this is huge. Like, and then Josh turns around and goes, "This isn't even the big room yet." So we ended up walked. Sonny, who is I think Josh mentioned another gentleman that works here. He actually calculated from Tuesday morning to I think it was Thursday night. It was like almost 37 miles of walking.
Yeah.
So that justifies. It'll give you a little justification of how much stuff we went and saw.
Friday morning, you guys looked like freaking zombies.
We were
and
zombies.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was laughing, and they were gassed out.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out there, and it's, we're on the East Coast. We're in Pennsylvania, so it's 3 hours time difference. So you're going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you go, I think the thing starts at 8:30, and you go all day until 5, right?
Yeah.
And then you go out, you get something to eat, and then somebody wants to go out with you. So then we were like at the Agency Arms
night shoot.
The night shoot, and we were out until midnight.
Yeah.
And so like every night we were out until midnight, and then you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and so like and you're eating like garbage all the time, like the entire time. Oh, we had a camera go down. Why don't you switch over to Brian? But
yeah.
So just go ahead and turn the cams. Just push the button on it again. I think. Sorry, this is our first time. Just like you're taking a picture, or try it like you're taking a picture. Push the button there. Yep. There we go. I think we'll come back online here, or just switch off and on again. 1 second. Sorry. Don't know why it's doing that. We're trying to get the cameras back up and running here. Okay, there we go. So
yeah, and then like I said before, I'm like new to this whole industry and stuff, and Josh is kind of like holding my hand, like teaching me the ins and outs, because there's so many moving parts. Everyone just thinks like, hey, you own a gun store, you just order stuff and then you get paid by customer. No, there's way more moving parts in that.
Yeah.
And just to put like faces with names of people that we talked to and stuff like that, that was really cool. And to see like some of the new stuff like coming out, and just like stuff that I mean, like I said, I was in the military, stuff that I've never seen before, and like being able to hold it, different scopes, different optics, like everything. And then we got the privilege to go to that, luckily, to go to that Agency Arms night shoot, which was sick. Like,
big shout out to Jamie Worthington. She's Miss Grendel. Go follow her on Instagram. And Evan Floodman, they invited us to that, and follow him, Evan, the Flood Munitions on Instagram. They invited us to that Agency Arms shoot. What did you think about that?
That was awesome. Like we went
first time you've ever been to do like a night shoot or anything like that? Okay,
yeah, like that, yeah. And like we drove buses out there, and like basically
like 45 minutes outside of Vegas.
It was like in the desert, like in the mountains, and like we got to try out some new stuff that you could shoot under nods. You could shoot the new Hollow Sun night vision optics. Then they put on this like demo with I think there was a 50 cal there, a 240 Bravo. They had a helicopter there flying around with a minigun, just torching the targets. It was badass. So like it was definitely like a sight to see. And
I liked how they drove us out there in buses, and that like we get off the highway and we're on this dirt road and we're in these coach buses, and Brian's like, I don't know, like it's a bunch of vets. Like if you're in the gun community and you're in that age demographic, everybody's gonna be a veteran of some sort, and everybody was having a little bit of a PTSD reaction there when they pulled off the highway and the lights go out. And Brett's like, this way, I'm gonna fucking kill us all, guys.
This is where the helicopter turns around. This is called the grand finale. But yeah, like again, like he said, shout out to all those people, and like they put on one hell of a show for busing all us out there.
Yeah, tacos. They had
it was
the street tacos.
Yeah, those things were on point. Like
yeah.
they definitely spent some ching for all that stuff. It was cool. It was definitely cool to see.
So what was the thing that you saw at SHOT Show that impressed you the most?
Just like all the because I just around the military, I wasn't around like all the stuff that's changing with these optics is like mind blowing.
What's the thing that like
thermals and remember we talked to the guy with the drone where he had like the thermal drone dude, he was flying it around and we were like, I'm like, the thing was like the size of a Matchbox car.
Yeah,
it was like teeny tiny.
Yeah, it was smaller than this water
and he was
bottle.
flying it around and it was like tracking people like thermal, and then he could go like night vision. Dude, it was crazy. And like again, like I've never been around like drones and stuff like that. Just the ones.
But you had a lot of experience in the military with like night ops and doing a lot, night
basically
vision,
everything
things
was
like that. Right.
But like just to see somebody fly something like that in an area like that, that was wild. It was crazy, and
that was like silent too. That little helicopter was silent. You like death
anything.
from above.
It was like I don't like my neighbor, and here you go.
Yeah,
like,
right.
But it was cool. So like it just seems like everyone's coming out with new stuff. New guns, new optics. Like it was, like I said, I've never even. Yeah, it was overwhelming, but it was cool. It was definitely like an experience that I never thought I would get the opportunity and to go, and it was great. It was fun.
So, but is there any new firearm that you saw that you really liked and kind of wanted to like talk about at all?
The Jackal.
Okay. Well, that's kind of been the from the Palmetto. That's kind of been out for a little bit now. But anything else that really impressed you?
The company with the AK.
Sholo.
Yes.
Okay.
I was
little like, PCC.
Yeah, they were cool. They were really cool. They like had some like different style like furniture on the weapons. The one guy had like a shovel handle for a buttstock. And it was like, whoa, these are wild.
Yeah.
So we got to talk to them, chop it up with them. Thanks to Evan.
All right, yeah, Evan.
He kind of paved the way for that, and hopefully we can get some of their stuff.
Yeah, we're planning on bringing some of that stuff into the store, so that you should, we're gonna see. They use Scorpion mags and AK trigger groups, which I really like. I think is cool, and they are billeted upper and lower, so you have like AR style controls as opposed to a lot of those PCCs. They kind of build them on whatever they want. There's a lot of AR PCCs out there, but this one's kind of its own. It's a delayed roller. It's not delayed roller like the MP5. But it uses like a pin roller system, which is a really simplistic and innovative, and I think it's going to be cool because you're going to be able to use, repair parts are going to just be stuff that you find at the hardware store, as opposed to, I have to call Colt or I have to call SIG, and have these proprietary parts on hand. This is like a really kind of rudimentary, like easy thing to use. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pumped up to see what those guys have to offer and what they're going to do. I said it takes Scorpion mags, but they use it's got a like a captive spring. There's a video on Instagram about it on our page, and you can go just see them at Sholo Manufacturing.
Shootout, the virtual reality.
Yeah, you can tell that story.
So there was this company there, and it was like it looked like something off of Ghostbusters. You had this backpack, and we walked up, of course, and checked it out first. And I was like, yeah, I'll try it. So of course they conned me into, hey, put on the
Big guy.
tens
Yeah,
unit.
big
Yeah,
guy.
put on the tens unit. And it's this ginormous sleeve that they put on your arm. And basically, like, incapacitates your movement of your arm. And he's like, hey, what side do you shoot? I said, left. So we put it on my left hand. And it's actually, so you put this backpack on, and you have these goggles that are attached to this backpack, and then you got this tens unit sleeve that's attached to another backpack. So, and with these goggles, you can actually see, like, when you're clearing the house or whatever they make into rooms, you actually see, like, threats, like corner threats. They can put
People.
People. I think I asked him. He said he can do up to like 150 different threats on the computer screen. So anyway,
and they all work autonomously. Like
Yeah.
they can be friendly, and then they can pull guns on you, or they can immediately pull guns. They can rush you. You know, like he set up a bunch of different things for us.
Yeah. So they called me to put the tens unit on. He was like, "Do you want to try it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So he's like, "This is one," and he like hit me. Well, it was nothing. If you ever been to like physical therapy or whatever, I'm sure you've had a tens unit on. It's not that bad. And then he's like, "You ready for the highest thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then he hit me with the highest dose of it, and my arm was like just whack, and like it just went. I couldn't even use it. So I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great. So there was a hallway, and then there was a room to the left. The first room was to the left. So I switched hands, knowing that there was a corner immediately, so I could clear my corner with a threat immediately. So I saw a dude, took him out, and then went to go pie in the hallway, pie the corner of the door, and I could just hear everybody laughing. I knew what was coming. So the dude shot me, and they turned the tens unit on full blast. So I kind of just held my hand up to where I could, and it was like fighting it, and I put the Picatinny rail like on my thumb, and was trying to hold it up and engage that threat. And I could hear him Josh laughing, and I heard the guy that was running the thing. He's like, "He's just taking it. He's just taking it." So once I pied her, there was another hallway. So I pied around that, and then there was another threat there. And at this point, they put me in what's called like the spider, because there's multiple different
ways they can
settings that you could put. They put me in the Spider-Man setting to where your hand is literally like this, and you can't move it. So I had to clear with my right hand. And it was crazy. It was a wild experience. Josh has it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
You can go watch it.
It is badass.
Yeah. That Envisage or Envisage or something like that. But yeah, they're definitely gonna change it. But yeah, we talked to these nerds, and they're like, how much is your thing? And they're like, oh, like $250,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah. Who comes and like freaking works for me then for that $250,000 the next year? But
I'm assuming it was for the department of like.
Oh, I'm sure that I'm sure that they're going for or trying to get like agencies or police departments
contracts
or whatever contracts. Like yeah. Not for normal people like us. But yeah, and we got to sign up. I know we've got Thunder Ranch is coming in this year. We're excited to have them back. They're going to do a rifle and handgun. So we got to hang out with Jack and Colton from Thunder Ranch, and that was cool. And we've got Don Edwards from Green Line Tacticals coming in. He's going to do a red dot pistol with us in May, and then in September he's going to do night vision. The night fighter class that he does from TNVC, and then we're going to have we talked to Chris Costa. I believe that he's going to come in too, and he's going to do a rifle class. We haven't finalized on the dates of that, but we're looking forward to having him. KJ from Philadelphia, she's going to come in and do an all-women's concealed carry course. I'm pretty pumped up about that. And then we've got our own regiments of training that we're going to offer. Sonny, our lead instructor, he's built a program for a handgun. We'll have a 1-day and a 2-day handgun technique course, and then also rifle stuff. So lots of stuff that's going to be happening at the shop each month this year. We should have something that's going to be going on. So the next thing that's coming up is in March, Radio Made Easy with Evan Dixon. That's been a huge class that we've been having every a few months. I think we're going to actually have 3 classes with them this year, which is pretty cool in my estimation. Because I mean, a couple of years ago, we had Evan come in the first class. I begged 6 people of my friends, Peter being one of those, to come and just learn from this guy. And I thought, this is a struggle. And he came and he rocked that class. That was awesome. And he's just blown up from there. I mean, he had a couple hundred followers on Instagram, and now he's got hundreds of thousands of followers. And he's a really cool guy. His family's really, really great. We love having him out here. We love talking with him, and he's just a great friend. So big shout out to Evan at Radio Made Easy. Go follow him as well. We'll try to put links of all these people that we mentioned in the bio whenever we post this.
We got to meet Christian Craighead. That was
cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, the Keegan Kagan Dunlap was like out in front of the freaking line, and he's like taking up the whole time, freaking talking to him. It's like, dude, you're a media personality. Just like let us normal people get up there and just say, just say like, hey, thank you for this.
Uneasy too. Like, I don't know.
I thought he was gonna be. He's for people that don't know, go look up Christian's story. He ran into a hotel in Africa single-handedly, killed a bunch of terrorists and saved a bunch of people. It's awesome. And then his government basically turned on him. And now he's becoming a naturalized U.S. citizen, and he's a great proponent for the Second Amendment. I know he's working with like Sons of Liberty Gunworks, and he's working with Field Ethos and Donald Trump Jr. He's got a lot of cool things that he's working on. I think he's a great addition. Like, that's what I mean. The gun community is worldwide, and its heartbeat, its foundation is here in the United States. That's where we've got to embrace that. So, but he was cool to talk to. Really, kind of a mild-mannered dude, and he was like, and he's tiny. He was a tiny guy. Like you figure you meet these guys and you're like, oh, they're gonna be huge, monster. I mean, this guy's he's a monster. But like, no, this guy, he was teeny tiny, soft spoken. It's awesome, badass dude.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he was.
Any other things from SHOT Show that you had that you really liked or enjoyed?
Just, I mean, like I said, just it's so much stuff to like soak in, and such, because you're there for. I think we were there for 5 days. 4 days.
Yeah, 5 days. Like I tell people, it's like you should go to Vegas for like 2 or 3 days, because it's like eating freaking candy bars.
Yeah,
like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's just absolutely overload. Your head hurts. Like everything just man.
We went out to dinner with Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. It was my first time
from RSR.
I got this, like, everyone laughed at me, but that's fine. This like candy martini, what was it? Like a berry martini, and everyone was just like, everyone was ordering like all the Jack and Coke. And they got to the end of the table, and I'm the biggest guy there, and everyone's looking at me because you're on like, everyone knows, like, when you order with a group, everyone's listening to you.
Can you bring me a plate of cocaine?
I'll have the berry martini, please. And of course, everyone started laughing and stuff. But yeah, it was great. Got to try my first Wagyu steak, which was phenomenal. But yeah, like I said, it's so much stuff to like digest in such a short period. 4 days seems like a long period, but there's so much stuff to like see and do. And like Josh said, you walking all day. So like, this mindset of like going to Vegas and being like, let's party after that. No, that's not happening. It's just
go to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great.
Some guys party hard. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah. I don't know.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
So.
Yeah. So another thing that we want to kind of do on the podcast is also just like showcase some things that come into the shop and have like short little discussions about those. One of the things that this came out before SHOT Show was the Echelon, the new Echelon from Springfield. This is the 4-inch model. It's got the threaded barrel, which I think is great. It's got suppressor height sights, which I again think is awesome, and it's milled, ready for an optic. They did change the frame just a little bit on this, so now it's kind of got this gas pedal on the front end of the slide here, which I think is great. And then they did some like stippling on the guide rod. But man, it's such a slim, compact little pistol. I think it's going to be a really great seller this year. Comes with tritium sights. It's got a really the big complaint that most people have had about these Springfield guns is their trigger, and I'm trying to get the lighting on this like okay, but you guys at home, I'm sorry if this sucks. We'll do like a tabletop view or something like that next week. But like, what a great pistol, what a great design. I think like the ambidextrous controls is really nice on this. So it's right or left hand shooter friendly. Springfield gets a lot of crap from what they've done in the past, and honestly, like, we're talking about corporations here, guys. I mean, you're gonna have people make calls, you're gonna have people do things that you might not agree with all the time, but again, the overarching thing is everybody on the same team trying to advance the gun culture. And if they are, support them in some way, shape, or form. Okay, we've browbeat Springfield enough over the fact that they've donated whatever to funds. Well, like, our president's donated to funds of the opposite political party. Are we going to crucify him over that stuff? Everybody is human. We all make decisions. We all make choices, and corporations are human to the fact that they all have a board of directors. They have a president. They have somebody at some point in time that makes a call that we might not like. Okay, give people a freaking break every once in a while. Now, if people don't listen to what the community has to say, if they ignore that on purpose, which I don't think Springfield does, I don't think that they ignore the comment section. But if you've got people that are ignoring that, then yeah, you can raise your voice, get loud, get more insistent, sequester them, whatever you have to do. But don't be a bad actor in the community just because you didn't agree with one decision. Criticism is fine, but just continually beating up on a dead horse is like, get over it. Really, it's like
too much negativity.
Yeah.
Too much negativity.
What's I always like your take on stuff because you are like a caveman. You're like, yeah, you break it down pretty simplistically.
I'm a left-handed shooter. Again, Josh, owning this store, being around this stuff so much, he is like an encyclopedia for information with guns and stuff like that. So I pick his brain constantly. He probably gets annoyed by it, but I'm going to keep doing it.
No, I like to teach. I get annoyed at you, Peter, because you don't listen to me.
So, like, yeah, I have ginormous hands, great fit in my hand. Like Josh said, I'm gonna dumb this down, not like caveman style. Yeah. When this came in, I saw it and I was like, it's kind of cool looking. And of course, first glance, that's what everyone looks at is like, how cool.
How does it look? Yeah, right.
Haven't shot it. It's new. It's for sale at our shop. Like the way it feels.
You could even conceal carry that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very thin.
And like I said, I'm left-handed, so I do appreciate the little things that these companies do for left-handed people. But yeah, it's
evil-handed.
Yes, everyone has it. Yeah. Are you left-handed, Peter? Oh, sorry. Left-handed people are more artistic.
Yeah, autistic.
Yeah. But and I'm gonna caveat to like kind of go a little back and just say one thing about the training stuff that we do. It's even if you do like one class your whole life, it's better than not doing a class at all, because there's so many people, and this was my first go around with a couple classes that we did here. There's so many people that show up and that own firearms in their houses, in their homes, that and I don't want to call anybody out in the class, but that just do like just so many red flags of what people do, just even flashing their muzzle at people or themselves, or loading their stuff wrong, or just simple stuff like that we kind of like overlook as gun owners, and I do it myself. Like,
if you've used it as a part of your life, you're going to be a lot more in tune with it. But like, if you're just simply buying things every 6 months when you have the money, you're not learning anything. You're just building an arsenal of useless tools. Like, possession does not equal proficiency.
Just because you own a bunch of guns doesn't make you a badass. You have to be able to use those guns. Hopefully you never have to use those guns, but like I said, even if you did one class, you're like an intro to handgun class, if you're going to carry a handgun, like, I'm a big believer in that kind of stuff, because there's so many accidents and so many just mishaps that happen, and
you want to be useful in the time of the situation that you find yourself in. So like, I hopefully hopefully you skip. I would much rather you skip the next handgun purchase at Griffin Arms and take a class with us, because I think that's money better spent. You know, buy ammo, buy a class, come out, shoot with us, learn something. You know, Peter shot some competition style stuff. Was that the stuff that you did with us this last fall? Was that the first time that you've taken like an instruction on guns in a defense type situation?
No, the rifle was.
The rifle was the front.
Yeah, the rifle.
So you did a handgun class before.
I did several handgun before.
Okay, so the rifle was the first one, but you learned a level of proficiency that you probably didn't have going into that class.
Yeah, simple.
I mean, it's very simple.
But you overlook everything.
Well, yeah, but you just because you think that because you have it and you know how it operates and works doesn't necessarily mean that you have
3-gun and then taking a defensive class is a
completely different animal. So yeah, so I definitely encourage you guys to come out and do some of that stuff.
Train with your shit, because it might save your life.
Yeah, and it would probably, it might break down. Like, that's the other thing too, is like how many people came out to the classes and like their stuff took a shit.
To be honest, seriously.
That, I mean, just for that fact alone, just coming out to learn what either the proclivities of the thing that you bought, or if the thing that you bought actually works and isn't going to leave you like high and dry, like those are huge factors that you can't in a static situation you can't know, and you can't learn until you get out there and actually do stuff. Like Clint Smith is a big I'm going to quote him a lot because he's a mentor of mine. We talk on the regular, and I love the guy to death because he just boils everything down. You don't want to learn new shit in a gunfight. That's a bad place to learn that stuff, right? Like, especially under duress and all that. So
in the Thunder Ranch, you run your gun.
Yeah. Well, like big shout out to Jack, and all the stuff that he's doing at Thunder Ranch, because I mean, they do run the crap out of your gun. And there's like a YouTube video of me and Jack talking about a gun that I brought out there to the ranch that just took an absolute dump out on the range, and it was useless at that point. But I didn't know until I had several thousand rounds into that gun that it was going to be a problem. So, yeah, go run your crap. Even this week, go and run your stuff. It's cold outside. It's great. Go out and shoot like 4 or 5 magazines just to make sure that everything's ready to go. So,
yeah, I just wanted to touch that stuff because I think that's overlooked a lot. With just because we're a gun store doesn't. There's a lot of stuff that comes with what we want to be or what you're trying to be, and training with your firearm is the number one thing.
Yeah. I think that's been overlooked for a number of years, at least in our area. I know that it's become more and more popular, and we're trying to change the gun culture here in Western Pennsylvania because it's a really big hunting population around us. just because you know how to hunt and stalk and I'll do all that stuff doesn't mean you understand gunfighting or gun manipulation or weapons craft. Like, you should learn all that stuff. Like, I'm not a great hunter, right? But like, I'll go out and practice that because that's a discipline of the gun industry. And like, you should go out and practice. If you're a hunter, you should go out and practice self-defense with a rifle or your firearm. You know, you should learn all the weapons craft that you possibly can, because our world is constantly changing. And if you haven't been like living under a rock the last couple of terms of presidency, like it's shifting so quickly. We've got a lot more enemies than we did 20, 30 years ago, and we've got a lot more bad actors out in the world because like evil is alive and well, and you need to be prepared to protect yourself, protect your family. Like, it's your moral obligation to protect all the people that are around you, or at least be competent enough to protect all those people that are around you. So I get on some tirades, but that's one of those big ones.
And that includes wives. It's not just men. Wives too, because
Yeah.
when the man is away from the house, that female, wife, girlfriend, whatever, needs to know how to run that gun too.
Yeah.
There are a
you
lot
should.
of women in the classes.
Yeah. And like I said, we're gonna have KJ out here. She does a lot of just concealed carry. We'll have her on the podcast. She's committed to coming out and doing the podcast too. So that's another awesome opportunity. But yeah, I mean, everybody, you should teach your kids. You should teach your wife. Everybody should be involved. Like, this is like it's so much fun too. Like, it's just so much fun. But I'm probably preaching to the choir, because there's probably all the people that are listening to this, if you've made it this far, are probably all saying, yeah, we all get it. Well,
Yes,
yeah, but let me say it one more time. If you haven't got out and trained somewhere or done any kind of training, do that next. That has to be the next priority on your list this summer, whenever. So yeah, do that. Go. Because we know people in the industry that are not prepared, to do stuff like that. Can you reach up there and just turn it off and on again? Oh, nope, don't turn that dial. It's the big switch on the side. Sorry, guys.
Peter just got shocked by the camera.
So that probably means that we need to shut this podcast down, because it looks like we're running about 50 minutes. We're trying to keep this under an hour. That one's good. So appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back with another one. This is like our first trial run. So if the audio sucks, we're gonna get our audio board actually took a dump right before. And look at this camera freaking. At least this is a comedy of errors, So, but I'm Josh. Thanks for watching. This is my co-host Brian.
Yeah, stay tuned, because we're gonna talk about, like you said, some cool ass shit, like funny shit. Like, we're gonna stay away from the negativity shit, because you can open your phone and just see a bunch of that, and we don't want that stuff.
Yeah, we're here to be positive about it,
and hear some cool stories and bring some people on that might entertain you. So.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Take care.